An Orlando gang member, a Volusia County religious group, and a former Seminole County tax collector. Just some of the dozens in Florida accused, found guilty, and convicted of stealing your tax dollars after the COVID crisis.
It sounds like it was a program that may have been right for people looking to get over on the system.
Tonight, 9 investigates, follows the money, and exposes the COVID con. This is some story. Your tax money used to invest in private real estate, purchase new homes, cars, and even fund violent crime. And Darlene has been investigating this story for weeks, and she is here to talk more about what she has found. More than 100 people in Florida have been charged with crimes related to stealing money from taxpayers.
Yeah, Greg, that's important to mention. This is taxpayer money. This money was supposed to be used to help struggling businesses and individuals trying to stay afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is important to remember that this is federal taxpayer money used to fund lavish lifestyles, and we ask what's happening to get that money back and just how many people are under investigation right now.
It was a tip to federal investigators leading them to this massive estate in Seminole County. The 12-acre, 12,000 square foot property was purchased just 5 weeks after Don Cisternino received $7.2 million in emergency funds through a federal program set up to help businesses get through the COVID-19 pandemic.
And what he did was he said to get one of these Paycheck Protection Program loans that he had 441 employees. And so that's how PPP loans were determined. That's how the amount of the loan was picked.
For the first time, we sat down with U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Florida, Roger Handberg, whose office has charged more than 100 defendants with COVID-19 related fraud.
How did it work?
We had people who were making businesses up. Businesses that didn't exist. They then get a bank account and then they make false representations in the applications. They lie about how many employees they have. They lie about what their gross sales and revenues were.
It sounds like it was a program that may have been right for people looking to get over on the system.
The amount of fraud that was perpetrated against these programs it's staggering. You know, there's always a balance that I think government agencies have to have in terms of when they give money and how they design these programs.
This database we obtained shows the long list of defendants spanning 35 Florida counties that make up the Middle District. The feds say the names here represent people who applied for federal money through COVID-19 programs and defrauded taxpayers of anywhere from $10,000 up to $8 million. Jaquavia Smith, a known Orlando gang member, using $10,000 he received to fund a lifestyle of violent crime, fully displayed on social media. Evan and Josh Edwards, under the guise of a religious group in New Smyrna Beach, received $8 million and planned to buy a home in this luxury community near Disney. Johnson Ashtu received $1.3 million and used it to invest in private real estate transactions in Brevard and Polk counties. Joel Greenberg, the former Seminole County tax collector, applied for a payroll protection program loan just days before he was arrested on unrelated federal charges.
And he actually got his first $2,000 payment on the day of his arrest. And the loan got approved the day after his arrest.
The task force to focus on COVID fraud was set up more than a year after the federal program started, and Florida is one of 5 target states. Across the U.S., nearly 4,000 people so far have been charged with fraud, and the feds have recovered more than 1.4 of the more than $2 billion stolen from taxpayers. Congress has extended the statute of limitations to bring charges from 5 to 10 years, giving prosecutors more time to go after people who so far believe they've gotten over on the system. Johnson Ashtu, in a letter of apology, recalled how the U.S. government provided him asylum from Haiti, telling the federal court he would offer no excuses for the bad decisions, only that he lost sight of the man he wanted to be, calling himself short-sighted and greedy.
It's really about holding people accountable for violating the trust, you know.
So there are many active ongoing investigations right now. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, former state lawmaker Carolina Amnesty was indicted on COVID-related fraud charges. We reached out to her attorney. We have not heard back just yet, but we know she has an arraignment next week for this case.
The good part of this is a lot of that money has been recouped so far, but there's a big investigation, and Florida's one of the biggest states with taking the money and fraudulently taking the money.
In fact, that, Greg, is why one of those specialized task force to go after this money was set up here in Florida, because there was a concern about so much fraud here in the state.
There are some nervous folks tonight.